So it looks like Stephen King tweeted out some pretty controversial tweets, and I'm going to get into those. They're about diversity, and I happen to agree with what he said. Of course, it's a little bit tricky, but the bottom line to what he said I think is pretty fair. So let's get into the heart of it. What he says at first is, as a writer, I am allowed to nominate in just 3 categories: Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Original Screenplay. For me, the diversity issue, as it applies to individual actors and directors anyway, did not come up. That said, I would never consider diversity in matters of art, only quality. It seems to me that to do otherwise would be wrong, and I think that's a really fair statement. When you're judging something, for better or for worse, you have to judge it for what it is. You can't say, for example, that, well, this thing doesn't have this certain color or race in it, so it has to be considered a worse movie. That just makes no sense whatsoever. There's a great movie I always refer to that's called Shawshank Redemption, coincidentally by Stephen King, and it happens to be a great movie. It's got main characters, one white guy, one black guy, and the jail warden is white. So should I say I should judge that movie any less because there aren't any other races in that movie? Not really. It is what it is. It takes place in a men's prison in Middle America, I think, somewhere like that, and the prisoners happen to be mostly white. The main characters are white. That doesn't really make it a worse movie. If I watch a movie by Spike Lee, and it's about a black neighborhood, and there's pretty much no white people, maybe one or something, should I be like, well, this movie doesn't have a lot of diversity, so it's going to have to be considered a worse movie because of that? Absolutely not. The skin color of the people in the movies doesn't actually hinder the score of the movie, the story, the plot, the acting, things like that. If you personally don't like maybe monotone movies or something, your personal opinion might be hindered or something, but that's just you. You can't judge something as a professional based on racial issues. And that, I think, is the racist, actually, judging things like that. Dunkirk's a great example. Dunkirk is all white dudes, but they're European. They're from different countries. They have different cultures. They speak different languages. And Dunkirk got criticized for being all white people, but that's actually a racist thing to say because that's just based on the color of skin. The people, the inside, was very different. That's the fact. Alright, so he then goes on to say, the most important thing we can do as artists and creative people is to make sure everyone has the same fair shot regardless of sex, color, or orientation. Right now, such people are badly underrepresented and not only in the arts. So, yeah, he's saying people should have a fair shot. He's not actually offering a solution, which he might not have, and he's not obligated to offer a solution. But he is saying that, people should have a fair shot. Then he says you can't win awards if you're shut out of the game. And obviously, that's true. Then I kept reading one of his critics. Her name's Eva Davon Rhee. She's checkmarked on Twitter, so she's an official something. Never heard of her. She says, when you wake up, meditate, stretch, reach for your phone to check on the world, and see a tweet from someone you admire that is so backward and ignorant you want to go back to bed. Back to bed. Okay, so saying that you shouldn't judge art based on diversity is ignorant, so should he have said you should judge art based on diversity? That wouldn't make too much sense. This is why I'm here, talking about social justice warriors, talking about how backwards they actually are, saying that the world is backwards. And let me say this about the Oscars. I don't have a definitive opinion because I'm not a big movie buff, but it does seem to me the actors that were nominated were veterans of decades, and the movies that got nominated, like The Irishman and The Joker, happen to be the best movies with great audience scores across the board, great reviews across the board, great acting across the board. It wasn't that they were bad movies, but they happened to be less diverse. That's not the case. If that case ever comes, I'll be the first to say, this is a bad movie, and maybe there's something screwy going on. But the fact is we have really good movies, and that's it. Somebody pointed out that Frozen 2 didn't get nominated. I don't think it did. Some Jennifer Lopez movie, something like that. Mulan. But those, to me, aren't like really incredible, acted, well-made movies. Jennifer Lopez one, never seen it, can't quite say. But Mulan and Frozen 2 don't seem like Oscar material in the way that Oscars are given, with acting in mind and heart and soul in mind, originality, things like that. Not to say the Oscars are so great, but theoretically, that's what the Oscars are supposed to be. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think down below. I'm doing shout-outs, special thanks, things like that. By the way, if you're subscribed here, I've got a few technical issues with my computer, so I'm going to be rolling out cell phone videos. I kind of like them. Sounds not as good, but I could do some cool shit with, like, editing. Anyway, see you next time.
If you are not subscribed to this channel, The Entertainment Hacker, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button now.